Hi class. So in this video, I'm going to talk about moles and particles conversions. So if you see here that we're trying to go from the moles, which as we know already, a mole is Avogadro's number, 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. We're trying to figure out how can we figure out how many particles we have, or vice versa. How do we go from particles to moles? Right? So there's this calculation that shows up on this first quiz of the semester. And so we want to really know about it. I'm going to try to review it in class, but I know some of you still need some practice. And so that's what this video is about. So if you want to memorize, which I don't encourage memorization, but if you really want to memorize, the way you go from moles here to particles here is you multiply by Avogadro's number. Multiply by Avogadro's number to go from moles to particles. And if you want to go from particles to moles, you divide by Avogadro's number. Okay? So, let's practice this. How many particles are in 2 moles? So, we put particles as our answer, so we put it on the right side. And we put moles as the given, right? There's 2 moles that are given. So we know Avogadro's. We know that we have to multiply, but we also know that we have to have particles in our answer. So we put Avogadro's number on the top because Avogadro's number is always talking about particles, whether it be eggs or atoms or cars or noses. And it's always the number of particles in a mole. And the reason why you're putting mole on the bottom is that you're trying to cancel it. See how the moles are on the top and the moles are on the bottom? I just crossed it out. And see how the answer matches? So all you're doing is 2 times 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. And you get your answer. So in this case, it's 1.2 times 10 to the 24th. Actually, because I only have 1 digit, it's only going to be 1 times 10 to the 24th with rounding. Okay, on the next problem, the given is 3.01 times 10 to the 23rd particles. And we're trying to find the moles. Well, we know we have to put particles on the bottom because we're going to cancel it. And remember from the previous slide here, if you're going from particles to moles, you're going to divide by Avogadro's number. So we're going to put that number down here. 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. And then, because moles in our answer, moles goes on the top of the fraction. So you do 3.01 times 10 to the 23rd divided by 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. And that is, if you do it in your calculator, you'll realize it's 0.500 moles. Half a mole. Right? All I did was take Avogadro's number and divided it by 2 to get my given. So anyway, so you can see here that 3.01 times 10 to the 23rd divided by 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd is a half a mole. Okay, so I want you to try these 2 problems on your own, so please pause the video now. And if you're watching on Edpuzzle, the answers are going to come up. And if you're watching on Edpuzzle, you are going to get your questions right now. Now that you've answered the questions on your own, we're going to try this together. You're going to write the given on the left side, 6.02 times 10 to the 22 cars. And you want to find out the moles of cars. And you know that mole has to go on the top because you want to solve for it. You know that the number of particles goes on the bottom. But again, if you want to memorize this, you know that if you're going from particles to moles, you have to divide by Avogadro's number. So you put Avogadro's number at the bottom so we can divide by it. Okay? So when you do 6.02 times 10 to the 22 divided by 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd, if you do that in your calculator, you'll get the answer 0.100. So you have 1/10 of a mole or 0.1 moles of cars. Let's do this one. So we have 2.05 moles of US dollars in the world. And we're trying to figure out how many dollars that actually is. Again, if you look back at this, you see when you're going from moles to particles, you're going to multiply by atomic number, and you put Avogadro's number on the top. You know that's referring to particles, but in this case the particle is $1. And you're going to put mole on the bottom, right? And you're going to multiply these two numbers together. So we get out our calculator to do this. So you type 6.02, and on my calculator there's an EXP button here, and that's your EE button on your calculator, times 2.5. So you can see that's giving me this large number, and I want to turn it into scientific notation. So I'm going to hit that button on my calculator. But on your calculator, it's going to be different. So the answer is 1.51. Remember, if we cut it off after the 0, the 5 rounds it up. So it's 1.51 times 10 to the 24th dollars in the world. Again, these are all just made up problems. It's not actually true. Okay. Let's try 2 more practice problems. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, please pause the video and try the problems on your own. And if you're watching Edpuzzle, if you're doing this on Edpuzzle, you can enter the answers now. Okay, so now that you've tried these problems, you're going to put the given on the left side, 3.01 times 10 to the 24th cells in your body. Again, this is not actually true. This is just a made-up number for the purposes of this problem. And you put moles of cells, the thing you're solving for, on the right side. So we put cells on the bottom because we're trying to cancel it, and we're putting moles on the top because that's what we're trying to get in your answer. Now, again, if you look back at the thing that, if you want to memorize it, if you're going from particles to moles, you divide by Avogadro's number. So you put that on the bottom. And you realize you have to divide 3.01 times 10 to the 24th divided by 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. So let's take out our calculator again and clear it. So we do 3.01 times 10 to the 24th divided by 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. Oops, there you go. And you get the answer 5. So the answer is 5.00 because there's 3 digits here. So I'm going to write 3 digits in my answer. So the answer is 5 moles of cells in your body. Again, that's not actually true, but just a made-up problem. Okay, if there's 1.07 moles of people in the world, obviously there's only 7 billion people in the world, which is only 9 zeros. But here we're talking about a very large number, of course, because we're talking about moles. There are not 1.07 moles of people in the world. There's not enough space for that many people. Okay, so if you have moles of people and you're trying to figure out the number of people, you put people on the right side because that's what you're solving for. Again, if you don't know how to set this up, you're going to look at your drawing over here, your schematic. That helps you understand whether to multiply or divide. And in this problem, you're going from moles to particles. So we're going to multiply by atomic number. So we're going to put Avogadro's number at the top. And we know we have to put the units people because people are the particles in this problem. We're going to put moles on the bottom, right? See how the moles cancels the moles? And now we're going to multiply 1.07 times Avogadro's number. Okay, so I'm going to take my calculator and I'm going to clear it. 1.07 times 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. And we're going to change that into scientific notation so it's easier to read. And so you see that there's 3 digits in my given. So you'd write 3 digits in your answer. So it's 6.44 times 10 to the 23rd. Okay, so I'm hoping that by the end of that, through this review and the practice we've done in class, that you feel comfortable with this quiz because we're taking this quiz on Thursday in class. And obviously retakes are possible for full credit. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you in class tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.